What's up, guys? We are back at it again with some War of Wizards. Today, we are going to be testing out the new Sacrificial Fusion spell. So, this spell is basically it'll create an area on the map that will absorb all of the units that you have there and sacrifice them to go into your highest health champion. So with your accuracy, you are getting a percentage of all of those units' attack power going into them. S rank is going to be giving up to 70% of all units attack, with C giving 55%. Our size effect is going to be how much health it gets from all of those guys. So C will imbue it with 85% of all of the units' health, where S cast will give you 100% of all of those units' health. So we're going to be testing it out today, trying it with a more summon-centered deck, since it absorbs units and it applies to a unit. You are going to want to be like running this probably with multiple different summons so that you have a lot of things on the map that can be absorbed into one guy. The unit that gets absorbed is always going to be whichever unit has the highest amount of health at the time. So if you're going to run with just like your basic summons being Imperial Command and Summon Water Elemental, your Imperial Command unit is pretty much always going to have the highest health, since its worst cast starts it with 800 health, and the Water Elemental's best cast only gives it 850 health. So the chances are that you're going to end up getting it with an Imperial Command unit. But we're going to be pre-selecting some falling spells. We're going to try out Golem. Since the Golem is super high health, he will take on the effect pretty much every time without question. We've also got Fire Elementals just to get another unit out there, see if we can make something kind of crazy happen. I've tried out a few games with this build so far, and it's been doing okay. Won some, lost some, but the Sacrificial Fusion spell has been kind of fun, but we'll talk about a little bit how it works. We're also running Fireball, another one of the spells on free rotation this week. It's an original spell, so like I've said, I'm pretty sure most people are familiar with how this works, but we'll kind of go over that a little bit with how Fireball can work for you in different games. So we're gonna hop into a game here and see if we can make some magic happen with the Sacrificial Fusion. What I've sort of noticed so far is that it's a good spell to really ramp up one unit. However, if you can't support that unit, a lot of times your opponent will end up having something like a bewitching spell or a confusion spell or some other form of like a control spell that can make it a lot less useful for you. I would probably recommend running purification or something of the like with this combination, maybe even as like a falling spell selection later on, just because if you've got your whole build kind of kitted towards trying to create a bunch of summons and then infuse them, if the opponent can just throw one spell and disrupt that, then it's going to be kind of just like a useless hand for you to have. So you might want to consider having a little bit something extra to back it up. We're taking Fireball here just for one, it's free rotation spell, so I was just going to go over it a little bit, but it's also a good damage potential if you can land your shots with it. So we'll hop in here and see what we got.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
A minute here and turn down his volume again. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with some summons, pretty much like usual, it's good to get some stuff on the map. We're also running a summon deck right now. The opponent's going to have a ghost, which means we have to deal with that pretty quickly. Otherwise, it will kill us. So for summon creatures, obviously, accuracy is the only really important thing about throwing a fireball. It doesn't matter how big it is, that guy's not moving. So all I have to do is hit him. And then we'll just chip him down the rest of the way like that while our units take out this guy's tower. So we've got one Imperial Command unit left, which isn't too much. The one thing about a summon deck is that you're running kind of like a combination of things, which means you are going to need to build up a lot of mana before you can kind of unleash the entirety of your like build here. So we'll get another Imperials down. We've got enough mana now that we can get our water summons down. Take a look at this. We're gonna pick up Golem just because I kind of want to like try that and see how it works with this combination. Now we should be just about enough mana to get Sacrificial Fusion out on the field, and we will apply that. And so, like I said, it's pretty much always going to apply to one of your Imperial Command units. And he's going to go in there and wreak some havoc on everything, but taken down by, the hammer. Okay, that throws several times. We'll just dodge out of the way of that. Wait for it to come back to him. And okay, so we're going to come back in and probably try and do kind of maybe a giant with some Imperials. If we can get a quick kill with a fireball, it'll be nice too. So he's gonna come at me with the mosquito. I've got to deal with really quick. This is a really bad fireball cast, but we'll see. This mosquito doesn't have a lot of health, so that's all right. And now we're just going to kind of rack up a little bit of mana here because this ghost probably will kill me. I won't be able to get back to anything to stop it fast enough to keep that from happening. So we're going to go ahead and get some Imperial units down. We're going to see about the Golem in there. The one thing is the ghost is pretty slow, so we do have that going for us. And our opponent's not moving. So that's nice. It gives us an easy way to build up some mana, and then we will get Sacrificial Fusion out into the middle of the field there while we die from Ghost and see how that goes. And so I think we might have missed some of our units, but yeah, he's basically going to be just like repeatedly throwing his hammer at this guy to break him down. So it's like I said, I mean, you're kind of putting all your eggs in one basket with the sacrificial. Gotta watch out for this really quick. Sacrificial Fusion. If they have an easy way to kill something that has high health, then you're pretty much in trouble every time. So it is kind of unfortunate. Well, actually, we're gonna let this mosquito go just because I don't want to get caught by his ghost again afterwards. And then we can just shake this off because it's not going to hurt us, but the ghost will. So we'll kind of ignore this guy for now. So that we're able to do something about the ghost afterwards. And so I thought we got Sheepified, but I guess he did. So that's a bummer, but we will go ahead and fireball down this ghosty boy. It's going to take reduced damage, which is going to be a bummer with the purification spell. So we don't really have any way of stopping this from coming at us. It's going to be a bit of a bummer. We've got to watch out for this hammer. I don't think we're going to get enough of that ghost dead to not die from this. So what we're going to do instead is try and just get some summons down. Wow, that hammer is really annoying. It just like never stops. And then we'll just die to this ghost. And try and figure out what we can do. Maybe Can get some summons if we stay alive here. We need to get some stuff out on the field quickly because this mosquito is going to take us out. Yeah, he kind of like attaches well before he should on that, I feel like, but it was not a great cast, so we'll shake it off quicker. We'll try and get some units on the field. Ah, and sheepified. Okay. Thought he was making a ghost over there. And so the sheepify spell, I've been still having a really hard time with figuring out a way to dodge it. So he is going to do another purification on that to do damage reduction. So what we'll do is just wait that out, hit it with a fireball. And now we will try and chip it down as best as we can. We do get a spawn there, which is nice. I'm going to need to be fast with this. What we kind of need to do is take something with a little bit more offensive potential because we need to get this guy like out of here because he's just like nonstop with it. And so we need to be able to eliminate him quickly. So we will cast our Sword Storm. See if we can't take him out with that. We definitely do. So that'll give us just a moment here. We've got a lot of extra troops on the field now, so we're going to get our buffing troops out, which we currently have 2. We have water and fire, so we will get both of those on the field. And then we will make another attempt here at a Sacrificial Fusion on his core to see if we can't overwhelm the vast majority of his new troops with that. We'll get a nice big guy. We've got kind of a set in the back that's going to be doing some damage as they come in. We'll crack this guy with a fireball really quick. Get a few more shots off on him. We will see, I mean, if he's going to not move at all, then we will definitely kill him again. And let's see. So here we've got kind of a nice double push coming in. So let's try and go in for a golem. See if we can't do a big sacrificial fusion on a golem. And then we will pair that with an Imperial units. So we have a couple more units for the sacrifice itself. And he's going to nuke, which will kill me, but not enough to take out the golem. Running, like, when you're running a bit more of like a summons deck, it's hard because you're having to dedicate so many of your spell slots to summons that you don't have heal, you don't have a lot of like offensive capabilities. So you're just gonna kind of get overwhelmed a lot with the opponent's spells and like what they have to use. So this guy's got like a pretty solid deck where he can basically keep me on the back foot the entire time just by constantly throwing his ghost and his hammer, and he had last stand as well, it looks like. So purification, which does damage reduction, so everything that I'm trying to hit takes less damage there. And we just don't have that much. I mean, we have fireball, which he wasn't moving a lot, so I probably could have shot him more often, but the problem is that I pretty much have to use fireball against his ghost every time. Otherwise, the ghost is just like an instant kill if it gets to you. So had to do that most of the time and save it for that. But that's sort of what I've noticed with the Sacrificial Fusion is it's like a bit of a all or nothing. Like if you don't have a good way to support the units that you get, it doesn't do much. So we're going to try and change up our falling spells a little bit. Maybe we'll get a heal. So if we do get a big unit, we can get a heal on him, keep him alive a little bit longer. We're going to go back to machine gun just because it's a great offensive and defensive spell to help take out summons that they have. And so if we can get those on the fall, that'll be great. But we will run another one here, trying to kind of utilize the Sacrificial Fusion more. We could maybe try and run it with a Barracks of War, kind of a different like spawner type. The only problem is that this is higher mana cost, so getting the combination out is a little bit more difficult. We'll put that in and see how it works. This will spawn in soldiers with accuracy increasing its attack and health, and then size determining how long it lasts for. So that'll just kind of continually create units that we can sacrifice up to something else. And I think by removing Imperial Command, we'll probably be relying on the water summon elemental is going to be the unit with the highest health out there at the time. So we'll see kind of how that works. See if we can't get something done with that. I think in this case, we'll probably want to use the barracks first just to get those guys going. He's going to have a shield up immediately, so we're not going to be able to get him with mana, and he's going to be shooting a fireball towards us, so we'll dodge that. This makes it a little bit more difficult, slowed us down a lot because we couldn't pick up any mana on the start. So now that we've got a little bit more mana to work with, we will get some buffing units out. We'll try and get a little bit more damage on him. We've got those out rolling right as our fresh wave is coming in. So we'll try and be a little bit quicker here with this and get a Sacrificial Fusion for that. And so you can see here like 3,790 damage or health, really not that much. Kind of makes it difficult to do much with, because it feels like if you're sacrificing, your entire bank of enemies, you should probably be getting a bit more health out of that. I guess it wasn't like the best cast, and we'll try and get our we'll try and get our machine guns so that we can have a little bit more offense. And then we will continue to throw in our spawners. We are running primarily a spawner deck right now, so that is the idea that we want to go with. He's going to shield up, so we're not going to go offensive with that. We will instead just create more summon creatures here. That is a good cast on that thing. So we'll take some time and do some damage to these guys. He's going to fireball down our two creatures. And so what we'll do is prep a fireball over here. And so, like I've said, fireball size is really irrelevant most of the time. You just want to make it small and accurate so that you can kind of surprise your enemy with it. I think it has more value that way than trying to just make a bigger fireball to throw. Doesn't really matter how big it is. You can, if you're going to dodge it, you're going to dodge it, whether it's smaller, whether it's big. But if it's smaller, it's not only a little bit harder to see, but the enemies tend to think less of it if it's not a giant thing coming their way, so they don't always react as quickly. And so here we'll see again, we've got quite a few units out there. We can try a Sacrificial Fusion on. It will apply again to one of our water elementals. And so, yeah, so something like this will happen sometimes. Like he's got the ability to basically just turn it to his side. So that is a bit of a bummer. I don't know how long that lasts for. So I'm going to damage it down a little bit just because I don't want it to roll through my tower. Oh, forgot to watch for a fireball there. But we will finish this guy off with... oh, he's going to shield it, so we won't. We'll go a couple ticks. And then we will stop hitting him with that. And now we are one shot, so we need to watch out. But we're going to get back in here with A heal, hopefully. That'll help us a good amount with keeping ourselves alive. Now that we know he has the like ability to turn our units against us, we're going to want to probably just not be sacrificing them, because we're just going to put all of our eggs in one basket that's just going to get taken from us anyway. We don't actually have Imperial Command anymore. I forgot. So we will get another spawn units out here. We do need to pick up a quick heal and see if we can't do a little bit of damage to this guy. And hopefully he will be a little bit distracted with those units for now and not move through that. And so we've got an opportunity here to go in for this, since he's dead right now and can't turn it. So we'll try again with one of these. We'll get a big guy out there. We will get a buffing summon out there just to make him that much stronger. And then hopefully that'll be enough to take out his tower here. And if it's not, we are going to machine gun. But it was. So the big guy worked, got him buffed with the water elementals, and we were able to roll through him there. So that was a good game. A bit harder of a matchup, really. I have found a hard time sort of consistently getting wins with the Sacrificial Fusion. I just think it's a little too all or nothing. If they have anything that can counteract it, then you're basically dumping, 500 mana, like 300 mana here, 200 here, and then 200 to use it. So 700 mana that you're dumping into a single troop that sometimes doesn't even have as much health as a golem and can be turned in like a single 200 cost spell. So as far as the Sacrificial Fusion goes, it's not my favorite. Definitely viable if you're running it with the right summons and you've got, enough mana to get multiple summons out there. If the opponent doesn't have something that can just immediately counter it, I think it does work a bit better with like a spawner type something, because in this case, like when we had Barracks of War on the field, we were able to sacrifice the units up front to create a big one, and then the Barracks of War continued to resupply units into the fight. So there was a little bit of like backup for our big guy while the opponent has to focus on the big guy. We've got little guys still streaming in to build up our ranks more and more and kind of cause more difficulty. But yeah, that is basically the Sacrificial Fusion spell in a nutshell. And we will take a look probably at some of the other options that we have a little bit later. We'll get another video out to cover the rest of the free rotation spells. And then we'll see next week. We've got a couple more coming up in free rotation, and we'll go over some of those spells. Some of these are pretty good ones, with Swordstorm spell being really high offensive spell. It's pretty good. Frost Bolt is a nice stun, and it's very quick. You've got Gunman's Oath. So yeah, that's an older one. I mean, a lot of these have been around. Golem, Strengthening, Tornado, Ice, and the Gunman's Oath are some of the earlier spells that were in the game. So yeah, thanks for watching, and tune in next time for some more content. Have a great day.